Hey guys, Broder here to tell you about the latest from the Halo Effect, We Are Shadows, out November 21st on Nuclear Blast. This EP has 5 tracks, 21 minutes in length, and it is an all covers EP by this Swedish melodic death metal band. Now, a few things I want to say before I break down each and every single song on this release. These 5 tracks were picked by the members of the band. Each member picked a song, and I feel like that's why we end up with a very eclectic source material as far as what the original songs are all about. Now, if you're like me, some of these songs I knew, some of them I didn't. The ones that I knew, I obviously can see their own twist, their own take on what the original sounds like, both from a musical standpoint and from a vocal standpoint. The ones that I was less familiar with almost feel like original tracks by the band. They had this ability to turn all of these 5 covers into something that kind of belongs to them. So it's a very interesting release from that standpoint, because it offers a lot more than what I was expecting coming in, considering that it is an all covers. I was not expecting for the band to go this far down the well and creating an experience that allows you to see the original material shine through, but at the exact same time feeling very unique to them, very unique to their sound, to their roots, to their essence, pretty much. Now, let's start off with the opening track, I Want to Be Somebody, a W.A.S.P cover. I think this is a great opening song for 2 reasons. First, it is the Halo Effect song of all of them. The way they approached this cover, the way they converted this song into a Halo Effect track really feels close to home. I think if you didn't know that this was a W.A.S.P cover, you would say that this is a song that they wrote. It has their DNA, it has their sound, their essence, the vocal performance throughout the track. It's just a song that just screams Halo Effect. So I really like them starting off with this one, because I think it's the one that at the end of the day is closer to what they sound like when they write their own songs. The other aspect of this song that makes it a great opening track is because, in my opinion, is the most heavy song, at least from a consistency standpoint, from start to end. So starting off the EP with a heavy track and a track that sounds like original material, it's a great way to present these songs. So this is a song that really brings parts of the original into the mix. I really like the synth sound on the track. I like the way the song comes across. Like I said, it's a heavy track, both on a musical standpoint and on a vocal standpoint, keeping the original material alive and well as the spinal cord of the track, but still allowing the song to kind of blossom into something that you could definitely see the DNA of the Halo Effect coming through. Then you have Dance with the Devil, Phenomena cover. I was less familiar with this song. I actually went and listened to the original track, and I was a little bit surprised by this choice, and I was a little bit surprised by their very own take on this song. It's a folkier sounding song. The original is, this one is, the melody that the track has, the main melody that runs through the song, it's very folky, and then adding this synth wave, this new wave synth to it, allows the track to go from being a more folkier track to being a more new wave track. And then when the Halo Effect is done with this cover, they add their own very touch of melodic death metal into the overall blend. So it's a track that originally had 2 perspectives or 2 sides of a single coin, but on this cover there's definitely 3 sides that combine themselves in order to create a very fluid, a very engaging, a very interesting track all around. Amazingly executed. I really like the execution. I like the heaviness that the track has, both on the vocal side and on the musical side. But that melodic, folky backdrop that the original had, they were able to carry that extremely well into this cover and make it work even with all the heaviness that they added on top. Then you have If You Were Here, Kent cover. Very melancholic track. I would say this song almost feels like the perfect cover for Cemetery Skyline. It feels more like a Cemetery Skyline style sounding song than it does the Halo Effect, in my opinion. But they did still bring in their own touch in terms of what the melodic side of the band is concerned, because this track overall is very melancholic. The original is very melancholic, and they kept that nature alive and well throughout this cover. They just added a little bit more melody to the way the song comes through. They allowed the melodic side of the band to really impact this song in a positive way. I also like the bass sound. The bass sound on this track is really cool. It really jumps off. It impacts the song in a very unique way, and it really defines the overall sound of the track, and it helps define a lot of that melancholy that the song has. The clean vocals also add to the way the melancholy of the song comes through in the sound. The chorus is excellent on this track. The guitar sound on this song feels very soulful, very warm, a lot more so than it did in the original. But once again, the verses really allow that bass sound to come through, and I think that's an excellent choice as far as the mixing and approach is concerned, allowing the track to have that heartbeat to really complement the more soulful sound of the guitars. Then you have Shoreline, Broder Daniel cover. Very lively, very heavy, or heavier, but still lively, both musically and vocally. The spinal cord of the original track, it's really intact. I really felt like they kept the essence of the original song as tightly connected to this cover as possible. And then you have the clean vocals in the chorus, which slingshot to the original song really well. Very similar approach, very similar vibe, very similar feeling, and then allowing the verses to come in a little bit more heavy, allowing the DNA of the halo effect to become a little bit more apparent, both musically and vocally in the verses, allowing the track to feel closer to the original in the chorus. So it's a great dynamic for the song, because you really feel the past and the present represented in the track as far as the overall design and the overall execution is concerned. And in my humble opinion, they saved the best for last. How the Gods Kill, a Danzig cover. I love the original. I love the original, and I love this cover. This cover does it justice. Excellent approach, excellent execution. I like the fact that they kept a lot of the dark goth feel that the original had. Sound-wise, the guitar riff on this song, on the original, on the cover, is excellent. Excellent. I just fucking love it. It has just such a great presence. It has such a great melodic tone to it. Somber, dark, but at the same time incredibly melodic. So that portion of the song is alive and well in this cover. And then I felt like the vocal performance, different, obviously two different singers, two different approaches. I felt like on this track, Michael really tried to go a little bit closer to what the original is all about, the Glenn Danzig's performance. He brought his vocals a little bit lower, but I felt like the overall vocal performance on this track, it doesn't have the same bravado that the original has. It rather has a little bit more of a dark undertone to it. So this is a cover that feels at times a little bit more dark and a little bit more sinister than the original did. The original at times vocally, especially vocally, really opens up, and it feels a little bit more violent, a little bit more aggressive in the overall goth concept and context that the song has. In this track, there's a little bit more control vocally. It feels a little bit more dark because of that control, but that main riff stays true in the original moving into the cover, and I feel like that is really the heartbeat of the song. This is my favorite cover on this EP. Once again, my love for the original track obviously impacts my appreciation for this cover. It's just really well executed, really well put together, allowing the original to be showcased in a much different light, but not that far off of what the original song in essence was all about. This is it, the Halo Effect, We Are Shadows, out November 21st on Nuclear Blast. Hit me up in the comment section, let me know your thoughts about this EP, about these covers, and I'll see you all at the next video. Take care, guys.